Okay, welcome back to Brother, Sister, Whatever, guys. Today's episode is all about regrets. The ones that haunt us, the ones we laugh about now, and the ones we pretend don't exist.
We know you have some, guys.
I have plenty. I could do this episode solo and carry it. Let's start with the weekly what if.
Let's do it. Weekly what if.
Okay, so what if you could erase one moment in your life, but you'd lose all the lessons that came from it?
Oof.
Right?
Yeah, that one's tough. That's tough.
Yeah.
Mm.
Do you want me to start while you think?
Sure.
Okay. I don't fucking know. Here's the thing. I don't regret
Much?
because I appreciate all the lessons that came out of it. Even though they were tough at the time.
Yeah. Well, I think that's you growing.
Well, yeah. I think every decision you make leads you somewhere in some way down a growth path.
Yeah, but a lot of people don't look at it like that. You know?
Well, yeah.
So I think that alone speaks a lot. You know, I actually think it's very, not, taboo's not the right word, but it was almost like failure had to be avoided at all costs. And a lot of people were programmed like that. And it's only been maybe the past 10 years where you hear about it way more now, where it's like failure is what got me to where I am. Failure is this, failure is that.
Mm-hmm.
Like now we're happy about failure. Right?
Yeah, in a way, it's true.
So to say, what have you failed at? Like, what could you take away? You know, saying that to people like us who know what failure does for us, I think that's really tough. So I guess I would say, for me, is there's a couple of scenarios in the back of my mind where I wouldn't mind getting rid of because it didn't teach me anything, but hear me out.
Okay.
It didn't teach me anything because I didn't have that mindset. Because you still need to take something away from that. Well,
yes.
you still need to take it away, right?
That's true.
So I could basically say that I could have done without my first relationship. That one was a real toxic one. My first ever relationship. It was in high school. And if I could go back in time, I would just completely remove it. And I would completely remove it because I didn't learn anything moving forward. Mm-hmm. You know? And maybe it's even a subconscious thing. Even though I'm saying I didn't learn anything, maybe I did. But
and you're not making the connections or something?
Maybe. Mm-hmm. But I don't think so. I'm pretty sure I was completely, out to lunch.
Okay.
So I'd say that's probably the one I would erase if I could.
Okay. So yeah, weekly what if. That's a pretty good one.
That's a really good one.
Yeah. I'm going to start us off by saying that I think one of the biggest regrets that I have is not being better financially. Mm-hmm. But not knowing. Do you know what I mean? And kind of, when you're younger and you're like, I have plenty of time.
Yeah.
And then you literally blink your eyes and you're in your 40s and you're
Life
like...
is over. No, I'm kidding.
Life is over. And you're like, ooh, shit, I'm not as far into my RSPs as I should be, or...
You have RSPs? Shit.
Okay, so biggest regret. Definitely. I wish I had been smarter, even just $20 a month. Mm-hmm. Just something.
It's not over, though.
No, it's not.
Mm-hmm. But yeah.
But think of how much closer I could be to my goal if I had started young. Mm. So, but that regret is going to lead me to teach my kids how to do it better.
For sure.
Think about those things.
Yeah.
It's never too fucking early. Mm. That's for sure, my top, one of my top regrets over the years.
I know
What about you?
well, I know it's cliche to be like, I have no regrets and burr, 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 burr. But if I had to pick a regret, I would say, that probably say my biggest regret is spending too much time on other people.
Hmm.
I'd say that that's probably my biggest regret. Not, you know, I mean, if I had to like accumulate it in like a sense of like years of life, it's probably half my life. You know what I mean? Just in
Yeah.
general, right? So I think, that's probably a big regret.
Fuck, like boundaries. Why? Like, I'm just discovering what real boundaries look like at this stage of my life.
Mm.
Imagine if I had really discovered that
Yeah,
when I was younger, in my 20s especially. Oh my god.
yeah, yeah. Same. Well, I mean, we're siblings, right? We're not identical, but clearly there's certain things that are the same
Yeah,
or relatively.
yeah,
So yeah, I'm in the same boat.
yeah. That's crazy. Relationships? What about relationships?
Like in what way?
Friendships, romantic relationships. Are there any regrets there? I Yeah. Half the people that I dated, I would not have dated.
Well, I mean, our weekly what if was me saying my first relationship,
Oh, that's
right?
true.
So
That's true.
I'd say that, yeah, for sure. That's definitely a big thing there for me, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there are some. I don't think I can say anything about friendships though. I don't have anything that stands out to me.
I could say a couple things about friendship, I think. I think that there's definitely some regret there in friendships. Friendships that, I wish I didn't hold on to.
Mm,
And then friendships I wish I held on to, kind of thing.
mm.
Um,
Which one stings worse?
which one stings worse?
Yeah.
That's a good one. I think the ones that I held on to longer than I should have.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I know you were probably thinking I would pick the other one.
Well,
Right? Am I right? That's what the one you would have
I'm
picked.
thinking what? Yes,
Yeah, that's the one you would have picked.
and I'll tell you why after. But you finish your sentiment.
And so the reason why I would pick that
Mm-hmm.
over the other one
Mm-hmm.
is because I think in my mind of the regret of people that I wish I stuck around with,
Mm-hmm.
I think the lesson that I learned from that is that because whether it was me or them that said like, okay, fuck off kind of thing, I think it was meant to be in the sense that if it was a true friend, they would have understood you or you would have understood them, and hence that would have never happened. Regardless of what your actions were that maybe have caused that friendship to crumble.
Mm-hmm.
So the reason why I picked the other one is because the other one is much more of a lesson in the sense of like, like when I'm done kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I need to end that charade right then and there.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, that's why that one is more important.
Okay. See, when I look back on past relationships or friendships, for me, it's the one, it stings. You always think about the one that got away. Right? You always think, it's almost like a FOMO of regrets, right? When you think about it, FOMO, you don't know what you're missing out on. There's so many possibilities, but the one that you waited too long maybe to get rid of, there's nothing else. You can't milk that cow any more than you milked it, right? Like it is what it is.
But yeah, and it makes you think of other things though. Like if you didn't wait as long as you did, then maybe that connection or friend or whatever that you had in the interim, but now it's not there, right? Like there's so many.
Do you have any regrets about not listening to your gut?
I'll,
Specifically.
yeah.
And it could be waiting too long, right, to
Yeah.
add something or
I
whatever.
will tell you something though.
Okay, what?
About that I know now. And if you don't know this, I mean, you should be, you know, you should get this into your head right now. Okay. I'm probably gonna botch the study. Okay, like I'm gonna botch it, but I'm gonna explain just like my logic behind it of how it went down. Okay. They did a study on your gut feeling. Okay.
Okay.
And like you making a choice, kind of thing. All right?
Okay.
And I'll explain to you what they did. They had cards, red, blue, and yellow. Okay, do you know this story?
No.
Okay. And so each one had a value, and the point of the game was that you have to get the highest value out of a certain amount of cards. Like you get 50 cards. Okay, and so you get to pick. You get to pick red, yellow, or you know. And so what they didn't know was that, believe it or not, each stack, like the blue ones, was like the highest pot of like a ratio, like let's just say 75 to 100.
Okay.
And then the yellow cards were 25 to 50, and then the blue the last cards were like 1 to 25 in the sense of like a numeric number.
Okay.
Like let's say it's cash.
Okay.
And so you would pick one. So I would pick like the yellow, it would be like a 4, right? And so you're picking the cards, you know, and obviously around card 35 or 25 or whatever, everyone was a little different, but around the 25, 35, they started realizing like, holy shit, okay, the blue ones have the highest pot. And so clearly everyone just kept picking the blue card because it was the highest one, right?
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing. This was all recorded, obviously, you know, everything they were doing. The body reacted on card number 5 and started subconsciously, they started taking the higher pot cards more frequently before they caught on and they were clearly like blue, 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 blue.
Listening to their gut.
Yeah, but their gut at card 5, they almost were drawn more to taking the blue card. So they didn't take it every time because they didn't know consciously.
Yeah.
So they were still like, oh, maybe I'll get lucky with the yellow, you know, or whatever. But by card 5, the body was already, the gut was already taking that higher pot card. And so, needless to say, the moral of this little story here is that your body already knew on card 5 that was the higher pot. And so the point is that you got to follow that gut. And when I heard that story, obviously it was said a lot better than what I just did, but hearing that story, I was like, wow, like it makes so much sense because there's been so many times where I was like, why the fuck didn't I listen to what I was thinking, you know, or whatever. And like now I actually try to be very conscious of my gut. And so that's kind of what I've been doing now. So if my gut says, it's like, okay, I go with it. You know, versus like you get the gut and then you're kind of like, oh, now I do it on purpose. The moment I feel the gut, I go with it. I throw the cards in, you know, or whatever. And it's been working. So, yeah.
It's interesting that you say that because siblings, maybe you feel the same way here, is for a long time, I didn't allow myself to even think about something. I was so impulsive that I didn't even have enough time to allow my body to even have that instinct or that intuition. Do you ever feel like you've gone through periods like that in your life?
You mean like when we were teens?
Teens and 20s for sure. In my 20s, I like.
Yeah.
It's so interesting because those are the times, those are the years in which I have the most regrets. My regrets have gotten a lot less as I've gotten older.
Right.
because I choose to listen now more to my gut. I choose to pause and really think about things as opposed to just,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's interesting.
It is interesting. It is. Yeah.
Okay.
It's good.
Yeah.
All right. This or
Okay, yes, this or that.
All right. You starting or me?
You go.
Okay, how about this? Regret posting it or regret not posting it when you had a chance?
I'll probably regret posting it.
Regret posting it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Regret saying I love you too soon or regret never saying it at all?
Too soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never been in a situation where I've never said it, like, or that I've regretted not saying it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's always been too soon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Regret what you said out loud or regret what you kept to yourself?
Always regret what I kept to myself. Hands down.
Same.
I never speak up enough.
Yeah.
So that's, yeah. Same?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah. Regret ghosting someone or regret giving them another chance?
Shit, that one's tough. I'm gonna say regret ghosting them.
Really?
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
come?
Because by the time, because I don't do that, so because by the time I'm ready to ghost them,
Yeah.
I gave them so many fucking chances. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, no.
Yeah.
Regret ghosting them, I guess, would be. Or, wait.
Actually, it would be the other way. It
yeah,
would be
sorry.
giving them too many chances.
Exactly.
Okay.
That's what I meant.
I'm with you, because for the exact same reason. Okay. Regret something that you did drunk or regret something you didn't do because you were too sober?
Oh, 100% the first one there. Regret something I did when I was drunk.
I know.
100%.
It's so bad. Oh, too many stories. Oh, yeah.
All right, people. So now we're going to do some of those hot takes.
Let's go.
So here we go. Your gut was right. You just didn't listen again.
Yeah. Hands down. I bow to that one. You don't learn from your mistakes. You just learn to regret them quieter.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
People who say they have no regrets are lying or insufferable.
Insufferable. People that don't have any regrets, like, fuck off.
You're just being defensive because you said that before. That you have no regrets.
Maybe. No, I didn't say I didn't have no regrets.
You did you technically did.
Well, but it was with a clause.
I know. I'm just messing with you.
You're messing with me.
Fuck.
If it didn't result in emotional damage, was it even a real mistake?
Oh, jeez.
What did we say about trauma?
Yeah, seriously. I regret it, but I do it again with snacks this time.
Yep.
Sometimes the right decision still comes with regret, and that's wild.
Yeah, it's true, eh? Sometimes doing the right thing can kick you in the ass.
What can you say, right?
Yeah.
It's life.
Last one. I don't regret the decision. I regret the consequences.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good one too.
That is a good one. That's a good one to end the episode with.
Yeah.
Why don't you guys write your biggest regret or one that you actually didn't mind doing, but the consequences were worse? I don't know.
And don't sugarcoat it. We want to hear the real talk.
Yes.
Okay, that's why we're doing this podcast.
Yeah, real talk, zero chill.
Exactly. All right. So we want the serious comments.
We want the goods.
All right, guys. We are going to take off. This is brother, sister, whatever. All right.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
See you next week.